Man, say man, what's good YouTube? Trizzy gang and man, Trizzy gang, what's good? Family, shout out to JxmyHighroller. I know I'm a day late to this. We got the MVP race, makes no sense. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like he's gonna be talking about how these folks are advocating for themselves to get the MVP. I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, Wemby, you need to get that shit, bro. We cannot have Shea getting the MVP again. Not back to back. No, I'm sorry. It cannot happen. Even though I do believe Shea should get MVP, because let's be real, bro. Let's keep it a beam, bro. We ain't no hater over here. All right. As much as I dislike OKC, we keep it a stack. My name is Tatu True. I don't let my bias like to play in too much. You feel me? He did carry them. As much as they are still a well-oiled machine, even without their second best player, he still carried them, bro. He still carried them. So in my opinion, yeah, Shea is the MVP. But it wouldn't hurt for me to see Wemby get his MVP this season, because at the end of the day, bro, the Spurs are number 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, who would have? And that's the thing you got to think about like that. Who would have thought they'd be number 2? Even OKC not having their best player, you could still imagine a world where OKC, you feel me, is the number 1 seed, bro. Let's be real, like, bro, they started off the season, folks talking about they gonna beat the Warriors record without J-Dub. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why I feel like Shea should get it, and then Wemby also has his own case as to why he should get it. And then I ain't even gonna lie, don't even get me started on Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown realistically is the one who should get it. You know what I'm saying? Jaylen Brown's realistically the one who should be getting MVP. Because and when I say nobody had the Celtics being a top 3 seed in the East. Nobody did. Let's just be real. Everybody thought they was going to be tanking this season. They got JT back, and now they're probably the ones that are going to the finals out the East. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know, man. Like, it is definitely a tough race. Jokic, I feel like, hey, bro, your team's underperforming too much, bro. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck about your stats. Your stats are cute and all. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it is becoming normal. But your team ain't nowhere near. I think y'all like top 5, but y'all not even top 3. Y'all let the Lakers pass y'all in the seeds. Like, nah, bro. I'm sorry. Jokic, you out of there. You out of there. But shout out to JxmyHighroller. We're going to check this out, man. This is my last upload of the day, unfortunately. But I will be back tomorrow. Yeah.
I've got a question. Is a player averaging a near 30-point triple-double worthy of an MVP? What about a player having one of the greatest defensive seasons of all time? Or how about a player averaging 34 points?
LUKA, man, stop it, bro. And this is where y'all gonna call me a hater. No, LUKA is not MVP, bro. I'm sorry, bro. No, LUKA's almost on the same type of time as Jokic. Your stats are nice and everything like that, but you're not. I feel like you're not doing anything that's separating you from like a Wemby or a SGA or a Jaylen Brown. I feel like, bro, if I don't see Jaylen Brown so far, from what JxmyHighroller was about to say, this is some bias shit, bro. Because if we're being real, like, Jaylen Brown is higher. I feel like he should be higher on the MVP ladder than LUKA. What? Stop it, bro. LUKA has pretty much had LeBron or AR the whole season. Who the fuck did Jaylen Brown have? Derek White? Peyton Pritchard?
Who put up 40 a game for an entire month. Is he worthy of the award?
He's not.
Or what about a player who is having the most efficient 30-piece in the history of the NBA on his way to 65 wins? Now, the answer is...
Bro, where's Jaylen Brown? See, this is what I'm talking about, bro.
All of these seasons are worthy of an MVP. But what if all of these seasons are happening at the same time? 4 players, 4 legitimate cases being made, and only
bro.
1 award. Who
That's
should
crazy.
be the NBA's
the
most
Jaylen Brown
valuable
disrespect
player
is
this
crazy.
season? Well, that depends on who you ask and what they value.
We got an ad coming, I already know.
That the makes it. Stay deposited on the screen. Winning the MVP usually means putting up numbers that jump off the stat sheet. It's not the only thing that matters, but big eye-popping box scores have almost become a prerequisite for the MVP award. And right now there's 2 players who don't just stand out this season, they stand out amongst every season. If we just look at raw box score numbers, Jokic and LUKA are gapping the entire league this season. Their numbers have gotten so absurd that they make Shea's 31, 4, and 7 look kind of normal.
But I ain't gonna lie, you gotta also pay attention. This for Wemby's case. You gotta pay attention to the minutes played. All these dudes are playing more than 30. He's playing 29 and he's averaging 24. If he played the same amount of minutes as them, he's probably in the. I would say he's probably in around this range with Jokic, probably the 28, most likely. You know what I'm saying? Like, LUKA and Shea are their own. They're just straight scorers. You know what I'm saying? These 2 are literally big men. You feel me? But I just don't understand why LUKA's here, bro. Like, LUKA's only here because of his numbers, bro. He's not here because of like team success or anything. Yeah, they're top 3, but like, bro, he's still playing with LeBron James. He's still playing with Austin Reeves, bro. Like, Shea is the best definitive player on this team. I'm not saying Luka isn't. But, like, bro, I don't know,
Up
man.
their per game
like,
points.
like I said, my only problem with Luka being on here is Jaylen Brown needs to be on here. That's the only reason why I have a problem with Luka being on here. Not saying Luka don't deserve to be on here. He does. But if Luka deserves to be on here, bro, Jaylen Brown does too.
Rebounds and assists.
What?
And Jokic and Luka are having 2 of the top 5 most productive seasons in modern NBA history.
Where's Curry?
Jokic joining the 50 Club, an exclusive group that was previously only occupied by 2017 MVP Russell Westbrook, 2025 Jokic, and 2024 Luka. But if sheer numbers alone guaranteed a player an MVP, then Jokic would have won the award in 2025, and Luka would have won it in 2024. So would James Harden in 2019, Luka again in 2023, and LeBron in 2018. As box score numbers continue to climb across the NBA, so does the frequency of these historically significant seasons. In fact, 17 of the last 20 most productive seasons in modern NBA history have all came in just the last 8 years. Seasons like this, that were once not only warrant of an MVP, but were historic milestones, are now becoming an annual occasion for players like Jokic, Luka, and Giannis. And the more often you see these shockingly large numbers, the more the shock wears off. It wasn't long ago when averaging a triple-double all but guaranteed Russell Westbrook an MVP as a 6 seed. But in today's NBA, averaging a near 30-point triple-double might not even land you in the top 3 spots for the MVP. Unlike other superstars around the league who fill the stat sheet with historic volume, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has maintained his spot as the MVP favorite with a season of record-breaking efficiency and consistency.
Bro, that man is Mr.
The best
Efficient.
team in the league. According to ESPN's net point stat, Shai has only had 5 bad games all season. In fact, there has only been one season in the history of the league where a guard was more efficient than Shai at scoring the ball while averaging at least 30 a game. And it was by the greatest shooter of all time, the greatest season of his career. But to say Shai has simply been efficient this season.
Not the greatest shooter, the greatest point guard of all time. Get it correct, Jimmy. Stop playing, bro. Stop playing. The greatest basketball player of all time, the greatest point guard of all time.
Season would be an understatement. So far this season, Shai is scoring 1.6 points every time he shoots the ball. That is the most points per shot by any volume scoring guard in the history of the NBA. 2026 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander isn't having one of the most efficient seasons by a guard. He is having the most efficient season of all time. Now, when
you gotta give him credit on that, bro.
Victor Wembanyama's numbers pale in comparison. A lot of his value coming on the defensive side of the ball, and I don't think you'll find any never minds on the stat sheet. But Victor has been on a minutes restriction all year. If we standardize these numbers on a per 75 basis, then you can really see just how much Wemby is impacting the game every time he's on the court. With box score numbers that match these other candidates, even as a player who doesn't favor offense. However, earning the title as the most valuable player in basketball requires value that goes far beyond the box score. But even looking past the raw numbers doesn't make this decision any easier.
Impact, that gotta go to Wemby, bro. I'm sorry.
Who is the most valuable player this season? That depends on what you value. In terms of estimated plus
minus. And I only say that gotta go to Wemby because it's both ends of the basketball, bro. I said basketball. Defense and offense. That's why impact-wise, yes, it has to go to Wemby. Because at the end of the day, Shai carries his team offensively. His team's already good offensively. But, like, his efficiency makes them even more dangerous and just unbeatable at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the head of the snake is literally efficient as fuck. Efficient as fuck. You feel me? And then with Wemby, it's like, bro, like, you got to worry about him on defense and then you got to worry about the nigga on offense. I just got done reacting to the nigga. You know what I'm saying? And we couldn't do shit with him. Now, granted, fire Steve Kerr because nigga had no center out there. You feel me? But regardless, bro, we had nothing for him, bro, on both sides. You feel me? And Jokic is Jokic, bro. Jokic is Jokic. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the conversation with Jokic is if he doesn't have a good team around him, he's just gonna get his stats. Ain't gonna be nothing else though. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're low key getting accustomed to Jokic, which is sad, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. That's why when it comes to Jokic, him getting MVP, your team got to be number 1 seed. That's it. That's all. Because your stats are always gonna be your stats. You know. And then in Luka's case, I don't even know, bro. At the end of the day, I just don't even see Luka being MVP. Like Luka, I would be real. Luka would have to have they would have to be the number one seed for Luka to get it too, bro. Luka's in the same category as Jokic. Like, your numbers are gonna be your numbers, bro. But you have to. I feel like Luka should have got MVP in 2024? Was that the year they went to the finals? He should have got MVP that year. But he didn't.
It is Shea, who not only has a lead on the rest of the league, he has the third highest single season EPM of any player in the rest of the league. In terms of estimated plus minus, it is Shea, who not only has a lead on the rest of the league, he has the third highest single season EPM of any player this century, only trailing 2019 MVP James Harden and 2016 MVP Steph Curry. If we look at crafted plus minus, it's Nikola Jokic who reigns as the best player in the league this season, followed by Wemby and Shea. And if we look at daily plus minus, it is Jokic once again who tops the league with a sizable lead on everyone else. If these all-in-one advanced metrics told us everything, Nikola Jokic would be walking away this season with his fourth MVP. Fortunately for the rest of the field, the value a player provides for his team cannot be boiled down to one simple number. According to preseason odds, here are the projected number of wins each team was expected to finish with this season. Now, these projections can be off for
It's so funny because, like, just imagine if Jaylen Brown was on this list. Bro, the motherfuckers would have had at least, like, what, 30? Crazy.
Number of reasons. Teams dealing with injuries, unexpected leaps from young players, and of course the individual impact of an MVP level player. Coming into the season, the Denver Nuggets were projected to win 54 games. Right now, they are on pace for about 52. The Thunder were projected to finish with about 63 wins, a total they're on pace to surpass by 2 wins. The Lakers were projected to win 47 games, and they're currently on pace for 53. But it is the Spurs who have completely blown away expectations this season. Preseason odds had them winning 45 games this year. They are currently on pace for 62 wins, exceeding projections by 17 wins. If you're looking for who provides the most value, it might be the guy who's transformed the Spurs from playoff hopefuls into title
most impactful
contenders.
for sure.
But looking at the MVP from this angle assigns individual value to team success. And as we all know, despite the MVP being an individual award, more often than not, the perception of a player's value is heavily influenced by the success of their team. After all, if you are truly the most valuable player in basketball, you should be elevating your team to title contention. But rather than looking at team success, let's look at the individual impact these players have on their team. Dunks and Threes has a metric called estimated wins that takes the quality of play from any given player plus the minutes they've played throughout the season to get the estimated number of wins they've contributed to their team's total. Our 4 MVP candidates being the top 4 players in the league this season in estimated wins with 13.8, 14.6, 16, and 18. Nikola Jokic is solely responsible for a third of the Nuggets' wins. But it is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who has contributed the most wins to his team this season. But arguably the most accurate way to assess a player's value is to measure how well their team performs when they're on the court versus when they're off the court. How much does a player's presence directly impact their team? Here are the top 30 players in the league this season and their team's net rating when they're off the court. From the Celtics, who are firing on all cylinders even without Jaylen Brown on the court this season, to the Jazz, who are on the verge of relegation without Lauri Markkanen on the court. And now here is the effect these stars have on their team when they're on the court, with the 4 most impactful players in the league this season being Kawhi, Jokic, Giannis, and Wemby, with the highest net on-off in the entire league of plus 17.
That's the most impactful player to me. That's the MVP to me.
The Spurs are 17 points better per 100 possessions with Wemby on the court. But this stat also reveals another key factor in the MVP race.
I don't know why Curry's so low, bro. If we don't, y'all see how we look without Steph Curry, bro. Like, I don't know why he's so low. That don't even make sense to me.
Often judge a player's impact on how well their team is playing. This has been a point of contention with the MVP award for years. MVPs go to players on good teams with top seeds, and rightfully so. But what if a player has MVP level value, but they're on a bad team? With Bam Adebayo on the court, the Heat have a plus 7.8 net rating, one of the highest in the entire NBA. On-court impact that is the difference between the Heat being one of the worst teams in the league and merely the 10th seed. Same goes for Giannis and Kawhi. MVP caliber seasons stifled by injuries and teams that are absolutely lost without them. Purely looking at a team's results, like wins or seeding, ignores how great some of these players have to play just to keep their team competitive. With that being said, the MVP award has always valued turning good teams into great teams over turning bad teams into average teams. And with that being the case, here are our 4 MVP frontrunners and the impact they are having on their teams. If you're looking for a player who impacts the game more than anyone else while pushing their team into great territory, then that player is clearly Victor Wembanyama, who is head and shoulders above the rest of the league in terms of the impact his presence has on his team. Now, it's important to note that the on-off metric doesn't measure how well an individual player is.
Like I said, Shea deserves it because he's just so fucking efficient. And the fact that, like, I'm looking, like, for Shea's case, it's more so about the team's record and everything like that, and, like, a little bit more context where J-Dub was injured and stuff like that. But if we're just literally thinking about impact on your team and how ass your team is without you and how good they are with you, bro, it's Wemby, bro. It's Wemby, bro. These boys are the 2nd seed. They was whipping on Shea's ass all season. It has to be Wemby. But Wemby's numbers aren't better than Shea's. That's the only thing. If Wemby's numbers were like right neck and neck with Shea's, then it's like, oh, hey, Shea, you don't even need to put no reservations to go to the MVP trophy, whatever the fuck thing, or the ceremony. You don't got to even put no reservations in because Wemby's getting that shit. But it's like, I don't know, man.
Playing, but rather how well a team is playing while that individual is on the court. So what if we look at this the other way around? What if we directly measure a player's individual impact and how that affects their team's success? This is ESPN Analytics net point stat, and it divides credit and blame to each player on the court for every play of the game to measure the impact of each individual player. The higher the total net points, the more that player has contributed to their team's wins throughout the course of a season. In fact, the metric is so indicative of a player's value that ESPN literally calls it their MVP stat. For example, last year's 2 MVP finalists, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic, finished the 2025 season within 9 net points of each other. The next closest player was Tyrese Halliburton, with about half as many. If you want to know why last year's MVP race was so historic and so close, well, you're looking at it. But this year, the results of an entire season of basketball have turned out much different. There's no race in this MVP stat. There's no back and forth at the top of the leaderboard. There's no battle for the number 1 spot. It's just one guy, way ahead of everyone else. Who is truly the most valuable player in the NBA? Well, that all depends on who you're asking and what they value. With just a couple weeks left in the season, the MVP race has become so close.
How many more games are left in the season?
On who the actual most valuable player in the league is. One source will say it's LUKA, another will say it's Wemby, and another will tell you it's Shai. According to Basketball Reference's MVP tracker, it is Nikola Jokic who has a firm grasp on the top spot with a 60% chance of winning the MVP. What? Ask the fans who they think should be the MVP, and you'll get a completely different answer. A couple weeks ago, NBA Central on Twitter asked fans who is the NBA's most valuable player, the options being Shai, LUKA, Wemby, or Jaylen Brown.
Who's not in here? Jokic? See, you notice how Jokic ain't here? No, that's cap, bro. Why is Jokic not in there? It should be. I mean, what is Jokic? Is this team top? Is this team 5 in the West? If this team is 5 in the West, I ain't gonna lie, Jokic, you gotta get out of there. Like I said, if you're an MVP, your team has to be top 3 in the West, bro. If you're an MVP candidate, your team has to be top 3 in the West. If not, no, get out of there. So if your team ain't top 3, yeah, you gotta go, buddy. You know what I'm saying? But Jaylen Brown, finally, somebody actually want to give him some credit.
Nearly 76,000 fans casted their votes, and running away with over 62% of all the votes as the clear winner was Luka Doncic. The result of a late season surge by Luka, averaging nearly 40 points a game for an entire.
Y'all just feel bad because the baby mama drama, huh? Y'all just feel bad because the baby mama drama. Y'all have to understand, man. NBA Central, bro, there's probably a bunch of Laker fans that follow the page, bro. Most likely. Because there ain't no way y'all just put Luka over Shai, Victor, and Jaylen Brown? What? For MVP? Like, be serious, bro. Be so serious, bro. I just dropped my shit. Be so serious, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
And efforts that slingshotted him up to 2nd place on the MVP ladder.
That's ridiculous.
Unfortunately, it's not the fans who get to vote for this award. It's the media.
Thank the
and
Lord.
for them, there has been
ain't nothing but some Laker D-Riders
throughout the entire season. Recently, the NBA did its annual MVP straw poll, a survey asking a panel of 100 media members who they think this season's MVP is. The results? Finishing in 5th was Luka Doncic, who received 0 first-place votes. In 4th was Victor Wembanyama. In 3rd was Cade Cunningham. In 2nd was
Cade had a case
and
before
with
he
a
got,
resounding 78 of the 100 first-place votes was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, this poll was conducted back on February 20th, 2 full months before the end of the season, and a lot can and has changed over that time. But in 2025, the same media straw poll was conducted around the same time, and they accurately picked the MVP last season. They also accurately picked the MVP in 2024, and in 2023, and in 2022, and in every single season since the introduction of this mid-season MVP poll in 2016. Over the course of the entire season, 9 different players have slid in and out of the MVP leaderboard, from LUKA and Cade to Brunson and Jaylen Brown. But the first half of the season was all Nikola Jokic, dominating the #1 spot for 10 consecutive weeks. It wasn't until an injury sidelined him for a month when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander snagged the top spot and held on to it in what some people describe as a runaway victory. At least it was, up until last week, when for the first time in his young career, Victor Wembanyama grabbed the top spot as the MVP frontrunner. The biggest catalyst in Victor's climb to the #1 spot, not necessarily being his play on the court, which has been strong and consistent throughout the entire season. It's what he said off the court.
3 arguments. My first one would be that.
Bro, hey, he got to fire his barber. I see that widow's peak. You know what I'm saying? I had my widow's peak, what was it, like last month? Was it last month or was it January? I think I had mine in January, man. I think. Listen, man, them barbers, bro, they ain't chill with trying to push you back and shit, bro.
Defense is 50% of the game, and that it is undervalued. So far in the MVP race, I believe I'm the most impactful player defensively in the league. Second argument would be we almost swept OKC in the season.
He didn't have to say all that, though.
My third argument would be that offense impact is not just sports.
Damn, that's tough. He did not have to bring up OKC because that just makes it seem like OKC runs rent free in your head, bro. Like I don't know, man. He didn't need to say all that.
After this interview, Wemby's odds to win MVP shot up from plus 1,900 to plus 225.
Because what he's saying makes sense.
Luka into the 3rd spot and turning this late season battle, at least on paper, into a 2-man race. If the MVP strictly went to the best player on the best team, then for the same reason he won it last season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would be crowned as the league's most valuable player. If the award went to the player who has the largest impact on his team, then Victor Wembanyama would become the youngest MVP in the history of the league. If the award was for the most dominant player in the league, Nikola Jokic would be a 4-time MVP by the end of the season. And if the fans had a say in it, Luka Doncic would be walking away as the league's most valuable player. With 2 weeks left in the season, the MVP race has grown closer than it's ever been.
We got playoffs coming.
Come on. Players who all have a legitimate case for the award, only one can earn the title as the NBA's most valuable player.
Yup. Hey, man, y'all let me know in the comments down below who y'all think MVP should be, bro. I don't want no bias shit, bro. I don't want no bias, bro. Please, man. Because you even heard what JxmyHighroller had to say. If the fans had the option, or if it was based off the fans, Luka would be MVP. He's not MVP. I know I got a lot of Lakers stands that watch my videos. Please don't say Luka. Because y'all, at that point, y'all trolling, bro. Luka is not MVP. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Maybe next season. When LeBron gone and him and AR can take over and be a top 3 seed, maybe next season. Not this one. All right? Luka's not MVP. It's either Jokic, Victor, or motherfucking SGA. You feel me? My opinion, I already said it. I feel like Wemby should be it. Just because he made a great case, bro. MVP needs to start getting looked at on both ends of the floor. It just has to. Especially now that he's arrived. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, my man's making a crazy impact on defense and then still making a crazy impact on offense. Like, how do you give the MVP to somebody who's just making a crazy impact on offense? Not saying SGA don't be playing defense. He do. But it's not as crazy as an impact on offense. I mean, defense that is on offense. Like, come on, man. We just have to be real, bro. We have to be real with ourselves. But in my opinion, I do feel like SGA is going to go back-to-back. Maybe Victor will be next season. But that's just my opinion. I can be as biased as I want and be like Victor should get it, but I do think SGA is deserving of it. At the end of the day, my man is the most efficient player in the NBA, bro. He just is. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, shout out to JxmyHighroller, though. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. I'll see y'all in the next one, man. I'm out.